Today we have a special guest, whom I will introduce to you shortly. But I want to say that this school, as it is right now, had a very rich beginning. So therefore, it has positioned us to the point where we are. And all we have to do now is to work hard, building on the experiences that we've had before, on the history of this school, and to strive for excellence. Today, I welcome you, the student body, and I am particularly pleased that the student body will be the ones in the audience today to hear this lecture that will be delivered to you. I welcome all those of you who are viewing the live stream. We want to welcome you to share this moment with us, because this moment is very special to us. And as we go live, we trust that all those fond memories that you've had here at the Darryl Jordan Secondary School, and for some of you, the St. Lucie Secondary, all those fond memories will come rushing back to you. And you would remember the many wonderful times that you shared here in this school. This second Darryl Jordan Memorial Lecture will be delivered by a gentleman who started his teaching career right here at this institution. In many conversations with him, he has said to me that Mr. Darryl Jordan is responsible for him being the man that he is today. He said that he have learned so much from Mr. Darryl Jordan in terms of leadership, in terms of camaraderie, in terms of debate, in terms of management, and interpersonal skills. He credits our former principal, Mr. Darryl Jordan, with much of who he has become today as a man. When he was approached to deliver this lecture, there was absolutely no hesitation on his part. Absolutely no hesitation. His response was, Darryl Jordan? Of course, anytime. So he stands prepared because he has, over the years, developed a deep love and admiration for the founding principal of this school, and he is in a very good position to share with us all the experiences that he has had here at the school and all the developmental processes that occurred here at the school and that have formed many, not just him alone as a leader, but this school has turned out from amongst the staff tremendous leaders, principals, senior teachers, and when we move away from the classroom, doctors, lawyers, engineers, entrepreneurs. This school has produced many, many wonderful and outstanding scholars. So today I want to welcome Mr. Jeff Broomes to the platform. Mr. Jeff Broomes is that person of whom I spoke of. So let's welcome him as he comes to deliver to us the second annual Darryl Jordan Memorial Lecture. I urge you, students, to listen attentively, and you who are viewing us online on the live stream, I urge you to welcome and to share your comments with us on the page, on the YouTube page. Thank you very much, Mr. Jeff Broomes.
Thank you, Mr. Principal. Good afternoon, everybody. I've had the distinct honor of working with your principal. At that time, I was his principal, but we had some pretty good times together, Mr. Lane and I. You know, only last night I was doing what I try to do a lot of, but I'm not very good at it. I was doing karaoke. And a particular song that I was performing made me think definitely about this school. And the two lines in particular, those two lines say, and I can think of the rest of Barbados thinking of it. I believe, they say up there, the streets are made of gold. And when you get there, there's a hand to hold. And that was my experience here at St. Lucie Secondary for the 22 years of which I was a member of staff. Because I believe there were lots of golden things here. And there were lots of good hands to hold to bring you along the way. Now, so to principal, staff, students, and all other invited guests, I'm very grateful for this honor. It's called, the subject of my address is A Golden Past, A Bright Future. When I was first approached to make this presentation today, I stumbled a bit under the obvious weight of a swollen head, and then I swelled up with pride. After receiving the proposed topic, I then felt right at home, in my element to be exact. A golden past and a bright future as a title on which I was to speak. Really? There is no term that manifests itself more in this school and in the one that brought it through its embryonic struggles to its amazing successes. I feel immensely honored to be given the opportunity to be one walking this journey in words with you today. From the beginning of the journey back in the early 1970s, the thrust was always to build a virtual community that would impact thousands for years to come. There was a need seen for a strong and unambiguous understanding of leadership and what it meant. It was never and could never be ever about just holding a position or a job. It was always about quite decidedly accepting the responsibility, the often burdensome responsibility that defined the role. It was about knowing that leadership often calls for a decision to be made between two equally deserving but competing ideas. That mandated strength, ethical principles, and a clear and muddled, strategic focus underpinned by values. This was the foundation on which the St. Lucie Secondary School and the leadership career of Mr. DARYLL Jordan were launched. These inextricably linked journeys did not allow themselves to be limited by simply doing things the right way, which was simply be doing as others have done before. There's no vision in that. There's no charting of course, and there certainly is no development of shared enthusiasm. The dedicated focus from day one was always on doing the right things. Often, some of what others had done before was incorporated. One could not be so stubborn or arrogant to ignore successes of the past. But the intellectual drive was always consistent with the coordinated vision and objectives that were fashioned to define the determined journey of success for this school. That foundation, as we now look back, has ensured that this institution can speak proudly of its golden past and look forward to a bright future. Such was the impact of the man named DARYLL Jordan. Mr. Jordan was known to be an outstanding educator and a great principal. To me, the greatest of all time. He was a mentor, a counselor, a visionary, and a positive shaper of lives and careers. He was also a pretty good comedian, as many of us can look at some statement or action of his that left us in stitches. I remember one occasion, he met a boy sitting on the church wall a Friday evening, told the boy, when you come to school on Monday, come see me. The boy never came. And Mr. Jordan left his office, went into every farm, eventually found the boy. He said, "Did I tell you to come see me today?" The boy said, "Me, sir? Not me. You mean somebody looking like me?" Mr. Jordan's exact response, "Thank you very much. I agree with you. So now I am sending home every boy in this school that looks like you, beginning with you. Go home." And this Jordan, he had that in him. I didn't know how he did it. His driven mantra always suggested that anything worth doing is worth doing well. Hence, the business that drove this institution forward was informed by a commitment to intellectual curiosity and a strong respect for the importance of positive socialization. You know, I think one of the worst things about the pandemic that kept children away from school, it's not manifesting itself in the behaviors. Children didn't get to socialize properly, and I have no doubt that's the reason why you're seeing so many fights in schools and on the street that are all over social media these days. That's sad. As a principal, Mr. Jordan knew and understood very well that gold left locked away in a box or cupboard somewhere would never impress or be a benefit to anyone. He accepted that it should be polished to shine at its brightest and shared with others. As such, he strongly believed in succession planning. He gave all that he supervised the opportunity to grow and develop. Indeed, he forced many to undertake the necessary professional training and to improve their academic qualifications when those were not in their thoughts. I am one of those people that never thought of some things he forced me to do. He knew what he was building and wanted the pillars in place. Not just any pillar, but pillars of quality and strength. The pillars that shone like the brightest gold. I honestly believe, no, I know, there has never been another who charted the path for so many to follow in his footsteps. If you had the interest, he provided the support and the opportunities. The number of his protégés that owe so much to Mr. Jordan and to this institution, our beloved school of supreme quality, can only be read from gold emblossomed canvas. The names can be rattled off as a virtual who of educational leadership, and all were developed right here at this revered place. We can think of Mr. Lloyd Austin, who went on to become principal at Grantley Adams, Mr. Keith Griffith, who went on to become principal at St. James, Mr. Victor Griffith, who went on to become principal at Parkinson, and then back here, Miss Cicely Boyce, who was principal here, Mr. Irving Graves, who was principal at Alling School and then deputy chief education officer, Mr. Anthony Austin, who was principal here, Mr. Robert Cumberbatch, who was principal at Foundation School, Ms. Vernell Woods, who serves principal at the Garrison, is now deputy principal at St. Michael's School, Mr. Peter Cox, who's the principal at the Garrison, and a small mention of yours truly, who did a stint at two different schools, Alexandra and Parkinson. We are all indebted to him for his guidance and genuine care that directed us up the slopes of the education mountain. Remember, I can think of no other school or no other principal that produced others to fall in footsteps like Mr. Jordan did and St. Lucie Secondary did. Each of us has ensured that the legacy of this school, where we were developed, and that of our leader, will leave an indelible mark on this, our island home of Barbados and beyond. His relationship with his staff colleagues was not all staid and confined to work. Mr. Jordan was always one of the first at our many staff picnics and parties. We had a group among the staff called ourselves the Moon Team, and he was part of it. All that meant we had moonlight picnics, we had all different types of things together. He often spent more time on the dance floor than anyone else. And if you're at a cricket field, you be playing cricket, his car would just turn up. He came to support his boys. He understood the strategy for getting individuals to work as a team in the interest of all. Gold, he knew, did not just appear. It had to be fashioned, and he was a master craftsman. Be sure of one thing. This was not only so of the academic staff, but the entire staff. We spent an equal amount of time with the office staff, the groundsmen, and the maids. This school was as cosmopolitan in friendships and support as any could be. To his students, his focus was on total development, inclusive of academics, sports, culture, and an almost linear dedication to the inculcation of good values. They had to grow to be strong, productive, and principled men and women who would take their places in society defined by success and decency, hence the motto, every talent to its greatest use. In the area of academics, we can go way back to one of the first head boys, Stephen Norville, who has gone on to distinguish himself as an educator in New York. He started the golden journey of those who have gone on to display the quality education they received right here at this place, which, not coincidentally, stands at the top of the map. We can point to Dr. Andrew Cadogan, who is now the virtual family doctor for the northern communities. He was one of my English students. Attorney at law, Wallace Blackman, who honed his persuasive skills in some very interesting English classes here at this school. He never fell short of debating with me. And then there was Sean Husbands, and I will repeat that name, Sean Husbands. He came here to this school with a common entrance mark of 23.5%. 23.5%. After being washed in the gold here, he went on to achieve first-class honors in his bachelor's degree, then completed his master's and is now deeply into his doctorate. I called and I stress on that because I want you, each and every one of you here, to understand that you can walk that same journey as Sean. It's up to you. It's there for you. This school gives you that support. We cannot forget Evelyn Boyce, who rose to the top of the nursing profession in New York. Law enforcement here has also been enhanced by the strength of Deborah Thomas, Robert Boyce, and John Rollock, all very senior police officers. This school can only glow with pride at the meteoric rise of Sharon Howell within the field of banking. And of course, there's Reverend Trevor O'Neill, who is positively impacting lives in the Anglican Church. He learned a lot about you win some, you lose some, when he was my opening batsman here for the school team way back then. And of course, we cannot forget Angela Mahon Edwards. She was an outstanding head girl here at the school and went on to be just as terrific a principal as one can find. All because of the great things they benefited from here at the St. Lucie Secondary School / the Darryl Jordan Secondary School. This is a place that should stand with pride. In sports, one can still remember the National Stadium with everyone standing and screaming as Jennifer Gibson produced that gold medal performance at the Regional Carifta Games. Kerchief in hand as usual. We can loudly acclaim Ingrid Boyce, whose golden performances made her a Hall of Famer at one of the top universities in the United States of America. It is easy to recall the test cricketers Vasbert Drakes and Ryan Hurley. But how can we forget the other outstanding talents like Terry Rollock and Phillips and Johnson, who are fashioning their skills and sharing their skills in England right now? Robert Headley, Alison Johnson, who's doing the same with his skills in South Africa. Cammie Gibbons, who is now a police prosecutor. Odwin Jilks, Antonio Thomas, Orson Rowe, and Ulrich Rock. These overcame the challenges of the poor quality field we have here at the school to soar to the top. In other words, do not let challenges defeat you. There are going to be times everything will not be perfect, but you have got to know your strategic focus. You have got to know the work that is needed of you. Put it in. Success awaits you. The name LaRon Gibson is synonymous with success, as he was a perennial national schoolboy bodybuilding champion, all from this school. The former Barbados captain, Norman Ford, simply dazzled on the football field. You had to see Norman to believe it. And so too did his national colleague, Kirk Cox. Then there was Elwin Oxley, yet another Barbados captain. Can we call his unmatched dominant skills on the volleyball court anything else but golden? Elwin was just the perennial star. The cultural exploits could never be reduced to any notion of a silver medal. The NIFCA-winning Steel Orchestra stood out wherever it performed in the country. Of course, the unmatched pan-playing ability of Barbados' #1 pan player, Ziggy Walcott, stands as a golden tribute to this school. He was so golden that I got him to play at my daughter's wedding. This was well complemented by the melodious outpourings of Sherry Boyce. These could easily be captured by the creative excellence of Frank Gilks in art or poetry. The school can really scream proudly of a golden pass. To the parents, despite being firm and direct, Principal Jordan always treated them with respect. He was also willing to reach out and meet them halfway. Hence, when parent attendance at PTA meetings was unacceptably low, he devised a plan. He didn't quit. He devised a plan. To quote him, if Muhammad wouldn't come to the mountain, we will take the mountain to Muhammad. This resulted in a large group of teachers going to residencies. We went into people's homes in the east and south of the parish on Saturdays and the west and north on Sundays. I think he calculated that because for somewhere in his head, he felt there were more Adventists in the west of the parish than in the east. And so he gave Sunday to the west. Parents were engaged in ways that benefited their children and positively impacted the school. This earned their support and respect in doing what was good and right for their children. Of course, it allowed us to have a better understanding of what was going on in the home, and we as teachers could touch children's lives even better. On another lighter note, sometimes you'll go home with a hand of bananas or some breadfruit or potatoes or something. That was good for me too. This is a firm and golden platform on which this institution now stands. With such a base, there can only be a bright future ahead. This, however, can only be achieved if continuity in terms of what this school stands for prevails. There must be strong, honest, and inclusive leadership. There must be a considered strategic plan that involves there must be a coordinated strategic plan that involves all aspects of the school population. There absolutely must be a focus on intellectual curiosity, diversity of thought, and positive socialization. Let me take you back to one action, Mr. Jordan. He was of the view that children were not reading enough. What did Mr. Jordan do? He put aside 2 lessons every week, together, a double period. You could not read any of your textbooks. You had to bring a library book. Then you had to join the library, either the school library or one of the libraries in the community. And you had to read your library book. And the teacher in charge had to note where you started, where you ended, and then something during the course of the week, you'll be asked a couple of questions about what you were reading. That was to get you interested. That's all part of what I talk about intellectual curiosity. We have to be looking for things, looking for ideas, challenging ourselves. And he was good at it. There absolutely must be a focus on intellectual curiosity, like I said. Diversity of thought. Oh, we got to understand that we're not all going to think the same way. I mean, that means we have to engage and listen to ideas coming from both sides, on all sides, and positive socialization. Students in particular, you're a member of this family. You're not here to divide, you're not here to fight, you're here to support and protect. Understand that. You keep each other, be each other's keeper or brother or sister. It makes for a stronger home. And this school is our home, your home. I called it home for 22 years. And I never regretted the day. I go wherever I go. I've worked at 5 schools in Barbados. And I tell people St. Lucie Secondary or DARYLL Jordan is the best place I've ever worked. Ever worked. right here. One thing that totally impressed me was the fact when the Caribbean Vocational Qualification Program was launched, this school carved out a niche that made it stand out above all others. Build on that. Be decisive in determining upfront what type of person do we want our children leaving these walls to be 10 or 15 years down the road. What must we do to ensure each of our alumni value their worth? You must value your worth. Know who you are and what you are, and don't sell yourself short for anything or for anyone. As the future unfolds, it would shine brightly if the concept of family is allowed to grow. All who benefit from their time here in whatever capacity must be willing to stand tall and say, this place is mine, and I will help it at any time. Don't just let those words flow. Allow the actions to go with them. Don't just look to have parties and social gatherings to reflect on the past. Find ways to give thanks and praises to the school we call ours. It is because of the foundational goal that defines the past of this school that I'm absolutely convinced that it has nothing but a brightly shining future to look forward to. I stand willing to play my part in that, Mr. Principal. I thank you all for listening to me. I know there's some young people in here, so I try not to talk for a full hour to save people sleep. I think I control my time a little bit there. And I also be prepared to answer any questions anybody wants to ask me, any young person, anything like that. If you want me to tell you how to stop the West Indies team from losing, I can't help you there. If you want me to tell you how to make the West Indies team, I could help you there. If you want me to tell you how to cook lasagna, I could help you there. If you want me to tell you how to sing well at karaoke, I can't help you there. All you gotta do is do like I do and carry your own key. Any questions? Yes, my son? Feel free. I didn't hear you. Are you afraid? Never. Never. Never be afraid to speak at this school, and certainly never be afraid to speak to me. You know, yes. I didn't hear that. What? Which secondary school did I attend? I like that. I'm from Spikestown. I was born in Spikestown, so that should give you an indication. I went to school at College in Paris, but then I left CP, and I went to live in New York with my family. This is part of the story that I like to tell a lot. When I finished university in New York, I was offered a very nice paying job, but I refused it because I wanted to teach. I wanted to teach in Barbados. And when I heard that there's only one possible job at that time, and it was all the way in St. Lucie, because by this time I was living in St. Michael, it was only St. Lucie. I said, well, that's the exact job I want, because Mr. Daryl Jordan's principal. One thing about Mr. Daryl Jordan, he taught me every year, from first to fifth form when I was at College in Paris School. He taught me every single year. Taught me 3 different subjects: English, maths, and scripture. Yes, any other question? And, you know, the people may say that CP may be this and St. Lucie like this. I have not achieved the things that many St. Lucie Secondary School children have achieved. And I'm very proud of them, and I admire them, as a matter of fact. Any, come on, let the questions roll. Not all ask on time. Just one. Yes, my son. How old am I? I love it. I like to tell the truth about my age, right? And but people always say that I'm making myself older than I look. But to answer you directly, I'm 68 years old. I know I look a lot younger. I know. Thank you. And it gets worse. And it gets worse, you know. My birthday is Christmas Day, so I'll be 69 then. Getting old every day. But I still do the things that I like doing. Like I said, go to karaoke. I play some cricket sometimes. I watch a lot of television, and I write. I write books. As a matter of fact, beginning later this month, and this could be good for you all, beginning later this month, I will be teaching the fundamentals of English on YouTube. I'll be teaching fundamentals of English on YouTube, so if anybody can benefit from it. And so all you can do to help make sure that it's beneficial, the YouTube site is known as Uncle Jeff's Classroom. Uncle Jeff's Classroom, you can just go in and subscribe, and it doesn't cost you anything, and the lessons will be flowing later this month. I saw that hand right just now. Hello? You know, all it says to me that nothing has changed at this. I'll come to you in a minute, son. Let me follow this one first. Nothing has changed in this institution. I was challenged like that many, many times. Want me to sing a song? Y'all really want somebody to laugh at? She's sitting right over there. I know that face anywhere. Come out to karaoke. At karaoke, I go by the name of the Broomer. Yes, son, you're asking a question. Your birthday is in December. Let's celebrate together. I'll get some of your cake and you'll get some of mine. You know, here's something for you too. You may have heard me speak about the staff parties we had here at the school here. One of those staff parties turned out to be exceptionally good for me. The guidance counselor at the time was Mr. Hamilton Ben, who was my good friend. One of our teachers, whose name was Miss Brenda Russell, and Miss Russell had asked Mr. Ben if she could bring her little sister, to the party with her. And Mr. Ben said yes. And when she turned up at the party with Mr. Ben, brought them here with her little sister. I will go on my knees in front of my Father in heaven and say, her little sister was the prettiest woman I had ever seen in my life. I spent all the rest of the night trying to, whatever she wanted to do, I did for her. I know we've been married for the last 42 years. I met my wife right here. So this school also gave me a wife. Yes, son. He asked if I have children. The direct answer to that would be no. I do not have children, but I have a child. It's not plural, I'd be singular. I have a daughter and one granddaughter, yes. One daughter, one granddaughter. My daughter is a teacher as well. She teaches in New York. And my granddaughter is a lawn tennis champion in New York. They just sent me some pictures with her posing with Serena Williams and Rafael Nadal and all of them. She was just having good times with them. Yeah, she's. Are we good? Is that Mrs. Clark? How are you, Madam Clark? Nice seeing you. Nice seeing you. Any other questions? Yes, son. What is? I'm sure, I'm sorry, Santa, they apologize, but I don't understand a word you just said. Honestly, I'm really sorry. Mr. Principal, I thank you. Okay, for all of you here, I really thank you for the opportunity you gave me this evening. Please. I thank you for the opportunity you gave me this evening, and I hope that some of my recollections will leave you saying, we produce all of those people? We are that good? And my answer to you, yes, we produce all of those people. And yes, we are that good, and even better. You can extend that line. You can extend that line. This is a school of quality. Don't let anybody say anything different from that. And remember, it is not what combination mark you come in with or any such thing. It's the amount of effort you're going to put in, the amount of support you'll give and get, and your focus you have and where you want to be. Value your worth. You are worth a lot. Value it. Do not let anybody sell you short. Please. No one will sell you short. Okay? I thank you very much again, and I'm always willing to be here to do anything I can for this school that has built me, that trained me, and made me into what I am today. Even some of the bad that I am, I got from here as well. But thank you very much, everybody.
Let's give Mr. Broomes another round of applause. And all the applause is very much deserving. Thank you very much. Now, if I could encapsulate this entire presentation here this evening, I think I can manage to put it into 3 words. And I can do so because of the rich history, because of the legacy that has been left for us, and because Mr. Broomes was able to take us on a journey from the inception of the school right up to the present. And when we listened carefully, and he spoke about being golden and being dipped in gold, and he spoke a lot about excellence. He spoke a lot about the many wonderful former students, old scholars who have excelled in a diverse manner, diverse disciplines and careers. The 3 words that came to mind: value your worth. Value your worth. If you had listened carefully, he would have spoken to you of all the tremendous exploits that he as an individual could remember. Now, if him being one person remembers so much of value of this school, just let us extrapolate that over maybe 10, 15, 20 persons. All with, stop, young man, listen, return to your seat. If we extrapolate that over 10, 15 persons with totally different perspectives, we can understand and appreciate the immense value and talent that this school has produced over the years. Remember, Mr. Broomes spent his first 22 years here. This school is celebrating its 51st anniversary. He spoke of those he knew mainly during that time, especially the teachers. But many others have come here since then. So this school has a very, very rich past. We are here to build on that. Value your worth. Value your worth. Recently, we had Mr. Sean Husbands, as recently as last week. And Mr. Broomes mentioned him in his speech today. Sean was very, very transparent with us, very vulnerable as he shared his past. He told us about his common entrance mark. He was modest. He did not tell us of all the distinctions that he gained. I'm hearing now that he gained a first-class honors degree. I know that he gained distinction in his master's. I know that he gained distinction in his diploma in education. I know that he gained distinction in his educational leadership program. Remember, he started here with a very, very low mark when he entered the school. But he continued to distinguish himself amongst his academic peers. Value your worth. Do not sell yourself short in any way, in any form or fashion. Do not. We have a legacy to be proud of. Let us be proud of who we are. Walk with your head up and not down, as if you are embarrassed or ashamed. Be proud of who you are. Walk with dignity. Do all that you do with excellence. Remember this speech for a long time. And if you struggle to remember all that was said, remember this. Value your worth. Thank you, Mr. Jeffrey Broomes, for that excellent delivery to us today and how you've charted or shown us the path to our present and how you've challenged us to strive for excellence. We thank you. On behalf of the Board of Management, the staff of the school, and the students, and my own behalf, I thank you very much for first accepting the invitation and then delivering. I'm sure I also can share thanks on behalf of the family of the late DARYLL Jordan and his son, Ricardo Jordan. I'm sure that he's listening in where he is right now, and I'm sure that he is proud of all that was said about his father. And I'm sure that all the family members who are listening in online, they're very proud of the delivery that you have done today in honor of the late DARYLL Jordan. I just thank you. So we have come to the end of our session this afternoon. As I told you earlier, we will return to our classrooms for a form period with your form teachers. And as you go back, I trust that the form teachers will be able to help you remember some of the things that you have experienced here today. So I want to challenge the form teachers as you go back to your classes. Pick their brains, see what they have remembered, share with them what you have remembered from this speech, so that the things that they have heard today would remain with them and that they would help them to grow to become the type of individuals that are proud of their school and who have a tremendous value for their worth. Thank you very much, everyone.